Chimay Blue.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. The sun is well and truly over the yard arm, and I've got a Trappist Belgian ale, and this is the Chimay Blue, or Grand Reserve as it is known. This is a bottle conditioned beer from Chimay. Now, I recently reviewed the Chimay Red, which I thought was absolutely amazing stuff, and if you've not tried the red stuff, I think that is their sort of flagship beer. It is really good, and it's typically Belgian, and it tastes absolutely amazing. It's quite strong in alcohol, and I heartily recommend you try it because it is a really good one. This stuff is what's known as their Grand Reserve, and I've read quite a few things about it, and it's got some good reviews, so I thought I would try it out. Now, this is bottle conditioned, and it's got a year on it. That's 2020, and I don't know whether to keep this or to drink it now, but I have finally succumbed. And Percy's just come into the room, so if you hear snorting, farting or growling, it is not me. It's that little fucker down there. He wants to go for a walk. I'll be out in a minute. Yeah, so it's got the year of the vintage, I should call it. You know, this is taking on the characteristics of a wine, but it's really good, and I am going to review it now. So it's a 330ml bottle, and it is 9%. Now, if you leave this, and they say on the website, they say it gets better with age, so it's bottle conditioned. You know, I imagine there's all sorts of stuff floating about in there. As I say, I was in two minds whether to actually review this now or leave it. I don't know whether 2020 is going to go down. I mean, fucking hell, talk about an eventful year. Everything's happening, but yeah, I'm going to review it now. This is an authentic Trappist beer. You can see that by this mark that they have on the front of their bottles. See that there? There's only a select few breweries or abbeys that are allowed to have that produce beer. Now this monastery that brews this stuff, they also produce cheese as well. And on occasion they use the beer to flavour the rind of the cheese as well. I've not ever tried that, but yeah, say 330ml bottle, 9%. It is a dark Belgian beer, Perez Trappist. Perez, I don't know what that means in French, but yeah, let's get it open and let's see what's going on. %. There is the cap. Oh, I've just opened that, and the caramel and spirit alcohol that is coming out of that is absolutely insane. There is the cap. Nice Chimay cap. You can see the are they fleur-de-lis that they've got on there? I suppose they are, aren't they? Two fleur-de-lis that they've got on there. I don't know what that signifies. I think it's a Cistercian monastery. I don't know what that Cistercian, what saint. Most monasteries, Augustina is a monastery, Vine Stephanus, Saint Stephen, Benedictine is Saint Benedict. You know, all these monasteries, these Trappist monasteries, are all named after saints. I don't know which one Chimay is named after, or I think it's a Cistercian one. Who would that be? I have no idea. Anyway, let's get it out of the bottle first. Oh, yeasty spice. A bit of pepper, coriander, but a sweetness. There's a big sweetness coming out of that as well, and a lot of caramel malt, and a touch of toffee malt too, and spirit alcohol. Wow, and that's just out of the bottle. Let's see what we get in the glass. Now, I don't care how lively this is, with 9% alcohol in it, this head is going to dissipate at a rate of knots. And I've put it in the chalice because I suppose that is the best way of preserving the head. Now actually that isn't doing too bad. I'm going to sniff this quickly and then I want to get it down the hatch because I want to drink it through the head, because that is the way it's supposed to be drunk. So, on the nose, out of the glass. Yeah, more of the same as what came out of the bottle. Caramel, a bit of toffee, a lot of spice and a bit of spirit alcohol. I'm rushing because I can see this head dissipating at a rate of knots. So, without further ado, let's get it down the hatch. Oh, the alcohol on this is insane. Spirit alcohol warming straight away. Then you're getting sweet caramel, big sweet caramel, and then on the arse end a touch of spice, and you're left with a dry mouthfeel. Really nice. Oh, it's typically Belgian, but the arse end is like warm spice. That's what I'm getting from that. There's big caramel too initially. Carbonation is quite big on this. Not abrasive, they're very fine bubbles, but it's there. But it tastes really nice. It is full of flavour, as you would expect. I mean, this is, you know, as Trappist beers go from Belgium, this is, you know, top of the tree. That carbonation, it's there. You do feel it, but it's not too obtrusive. I really like this. I can see this wouldn't be for everyone. There is a huge seam of spirit alcohol that runs through this, and some people may call that syrupy. I don't. There is some, don't get me wrong, there is some sugar in this, I can taste it, but it's not too big as to be off-putting. The caramel is nice. You do get that initially, but this is all about the alcohol and the spice, and that's what you get on the back end, and that's what you get in your mouth, and it leaves your mouth feeling quite dry. This is not one that's refreshing. This needs to be savoured. So I'm not going to gulp this down, and at 9%, you know, if I gulp this down, I think I would be probably end up in A&E. But it's nice. It really is good. Superb. Nothing wrong with that at all. The red is very drinkable. I think from memory, when I reviewed the red, I had to stop myself from necking it because it was that good. This stuff, you need to treat it with a bit of respect. And I think, you know, with that big spirit alcohol, you sort of get told, you know, this is not one to be taken lightly. And it isn't. It's one to be savoured. And to be fair, I think I made the right choice drinking it out of a chalice. The Chimay glass, the official Chimay glass, is a chalice as well. It's a bit flatter and a bit wider. you're getting all the flavours through it. You know, with this big wide glass. That's what you need to do. You know, like a Teku glass or one of them sort of craft beer glasses. You wouldn't. I don't think you'd get the full flavour, because all the glasses, it's all about the oxygen intake as well. So, you know, when you're drinking your beer, the amount of oxygen you take in at the same time influences the flavour. It's subtle, but it does make a difference. I mean, to your average fucking pisshead, you know, they drink it out of a can, and you know, they're obviously not getting the flavour like we are. But you know, this is a beer that deserves to be taken seriously. It's one of them ones where I know it's 9%, but I could drink a lot of this, and the alcohol would get to me before I got tired of the flavour. So that's worth bearing in mind if you're going to try this one out. If you haven't tried this one, I suggest you start on the red one first. That will prepare you, and then you go on to the blue. Out of the two, which one do I prefer? That's a difficult one. The Chimay red, I like that for its drinkability, but this, I think, has got a hell of a lot more flavour to it, and especially with that alcohol. Some people won't like that. If you're not a fan of barley wine or strong ales, and when I say strong ales, I mean, like, you know, the strong Yorkshire Stingo, the Fuller's Golden Pride, that sort of stuff. It's not as intense as that. This has got subtle flavours and more spice to it as well, but it's really nice. I really do like this. This is a good one. Chimay, obviously, monasteries don't do many beers. They don't, you know, and this is the funny thing about monastery beers, and you know, the German monastery beers as well. You know, you can have all these craft brewers knocking their bollocks out, buying up hops and throwing as many hops in to beers to create these IPAs, these double IPAs and all that. These Belgian monasteries just keep plodding along, doing what they do, making just enough money to survive. No frills, you know, and they've been going for hundreds of years. And to be honest, that sums it up with me. You know, I know craft beer is sort of, I wouldn't say it's a phase, but it's fashionable now. The beer always speaks for itself, and that is why I review beer. I don't care, you can dress it up with whatever you want. You know, do you remember the Tennant's beers? They used to have the women, the scantily clad women on the front. They were basically dressing up a fucking bad beer. That doesn't mean anything to me. The bottles, yeah, they might look nice. It is all about the beer. And this stuff, I mean, look at it. I mean, you can tell that's brewed in a monastery. The label's very modest, you know. The size of the beer is modest. Well, it has to be 9%. But that is what it's all about. It's what's inside the bottle, for me, that counts. And this stuff is superb. I'm going to give this, I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10. Because I love Belgian beer. I love Belgian monastery beer especially. And this is superb. It really is. And it demands respect. I think that seam of spirit alcohol just says to you, listen, pal, I know you want to drink, but you got to savour this. This is about the flavour. And yeah, that's the message I'm getting from this. But it's lovely. I recommend this, and I recommend the red. Chimay are great. They do some fantastic beers. And remember, beer is working class champagne.